Okay, my outstanding friends, if you've been paying attention,
you would know that this is Roger Mudfossil. But there's something different about him. He seems a bit less handsy and a bit more all-in-framesy. Not sure what exactly it is, but I'll figure it out. Also, if attention is something that has been paid by you, you'll know that Roger here is a Fruit Loop of epic proportions, who believes basically anything he sees, unless it's true. It's led him to a lot of, shall we say, interesting conclusions, like that rocks were giant body parts, and that dragons are a real thing, and also even more gianter. Anyway, what's it today? Oh, I figured it out. He hasn't got his feather. That's what's different.
I have been speaking highly of Avi Loeb from Harvard University.
You have been speaking highly of someone from a university. How very unlike you, seeing as you so often talk down to them near constantly because of how big-brained smart guy you think you are, and the fact that they spend so much time ignoring you to death. It would be hilarious if it wasn't so mind-shatteringly arrogant and stupid. Oh right, it is funny that you do that. But right, okay. So who's this guy and why does he get a pass? Is it because you think he agrees with you, or is it something even less likely?
He is an academic, and normally I don't go too much with the academics because they have a mindset that will not allow them to explore.
Translation: people who actually spend time doing the work and learning about how things work and what the universe has so far revealed to us don't immediately fall to their knees, groveling at the feet of the mighty Roger when he presents them with a rock he thinks is a goose because it kind of looks like one. No, I'm not joking.
Anything beyond what they've been told under peer review.
What? That's not... What the hell do you think peer review is? Peer review doesn't tell you things, per se. Peer review is the process where scientists point out mistakes in methodology or conclusions of various scientific papers written by other scientists to help them be more accurate and make the things we have as a whole more reflective of reality. That's why your shit never flies, because if it was put up to serious academic peer review, it would immediately crumble around your ears, since even a total moron like me can spot the countless mistakes, misunderstandings, and outright just wishful thinking that your ideas are based on, after seconds of you having presented it, usually as a fact. I can't imagine the shit an actual science guy would do to it, but it wouldn't be pretty.
Which means don't speak outside this realm, otherwise you'd be destroyed.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works. Sure, you can destroy your credibility, but only if you refuse to actually, do science. But it takes quite a lot of effort and an utter refusal to listen to anything anyone else is saying for that to actually happen, whilst providing little to no evidence to back up whatever your claim is. It has to be done this way because, unfortunately for people like you, who have no credibility, you can't just wander into science, say something insane, and then expect everyone to take you seriously, and not mock your incredibly silly evidence and staggeringly stupid reasoning. Otherwise, we would get nothing done, as we spend infinitely squared time having to listen to fucking crackpots all day.
Now, Avi Loeb is the exception to that rule.
Okay, cool. What's so special about this Avi character? Although, not gonna lie, if I was a real science guy and it turned out that Roger of Mudfossil University thought I had some good ideas, I would have to question the shit out of what I was saying. Because much like creationists, almost everything that Roger states as fact is almost always the complete opposite of true. That or, he actually doesn't know what the guy has said or is saying, but it's definitely one of the two.
Now, he just wrote a book called Extraterrestrial.
Well, of course he did. I mean, the only other kind of book title that you would ever be interested in would be something along the lines of Giants in Myth, History and Religion, one of the books you wrote. Now, that's not to say they're even remotely of a similar caliber to the other guy, because he's an actual scientist after all. And I have read some of your written work, and hoo-wee! That is some top-tier bat-crap shit. Maybe I'll do a dramatic reading of it someday, because it is wild.
And he believes there is life in space. And I can prove that he is correct.
Wow, that's quite the claim. I mean, forgetting for 1 second that Avi Loeb, whom I spent some time looking into, does have claims about certain celestial objects and their potential origins. I'm pretty sure even he would not claim that he could prove categorically that alien life is definitely out there. So the fact that you think you can is, well, not actually surprising, but it is certainly a bold claim nonetheless. But I think you are more likely to prove that you have a brain in your head, and that's basically fucking impossible, mate.
Absolutely, without question.
Something we can finally agree on. Nice.
And he started with a Maro, as far as I know.
Maro, as far as I know. That's like beautiful, man. Roger is a poet and he just doesn't know it. But, you know, he doesn't know a lot of things, so that's hardly surprising. And I'm still stuck on that he can prove aliens exist. Like, of all the wild claims he's made over our many years together, somehow that one just feels far more asinine than any of the lizard people or the statues that are only a number of decades old that he for some reason thinks are ancient and actually petrified living beings, even though we literally know who made them. But this, it's just like, you think someone would have noticed other than Roger, yeah?
He thought it might be a spaceship because it was very, very long and thin compared to its length.
I mean, okay, but you know his ideas are pretty fringe, right? You know they aren't mainstream and, oh, of course, that's all you need, isn't it? It doesn't actually matter what someone says as long as it's anything other than the things we can actually prove. That's got to be the same reason for your insufferable fans and why they're so into you. They don't actually care what you believe or the things that you say. They just like it because no one else believes it. And for some reason, that's better than, you know, having beliefs grounded in actual reality, apparently.
It's biology.
Oh god, I almost forgot. That's his other thing. Everything is some kind of biological nonsense version of a thing. Planets are meat and mountains are huge chunks of flesh, and don't even get me started on random geological structures. Hint hint, dragon eggs. I wish I was fucking joking, but Roger's beliefs are always a better joke than I could ever come up with.
This is what they don't understand, and they cannot get their heads around this. Now, can Avi Loeb?
It's funny how you clearly assume that when people who, again, spend their lives studying the nature of reality and the what things are made of what things are, that if they think your thing is bullshit, aka can't get their heads around it, that it's them, the millions of scientists, who are wrong, all wrong about everything. And you, on your own, have discovered 1,000,001 brand new sciences that obviously explain everything far better. I mean, forget the fact that you will never actually be able to apply your ideas to anything, and you will never be able to make useful predictions or any kind of functional ideas that actually do things. You are right because of how special you are. It must be nice.
He claims to have the widest open mind in academia, and as far as I can determine, he does.
Okay, but even if that's true, like the saying goes, if you open your mind too much, your brain's gonna fall out. Being open-minded, to a degree, is good. It's great. It's very important. And you know what, Roger? I have an open mind for your ideas. Every last one of them, and I'm not joking. But part of being a functional person with a brain that works is that you have to be critical. You have to be able to analyze an idea and detect its flaws. Otherwise, you're just going to be a credulous moron with no capacity to pass fact from fiction. And I'm not saying that's you, but... And I hope our mate, the science guy, can do that. Otherwise, he could become another one of those, you know, respected sciencers that gets a little bit too high on their own farts and forgets that they have the ability to be wrong, just like everyone else.
Is it open enough?
Christ, I hope not enough to start jamming your shit in there. I mean, the guy apparently knows things, and you would have to scoop all that out in order to fit in your infinite bullshit. And it's just such a mess when you do that, even with finite bullshit. Not that I have a habit of scooping out brains to shove cow shit in people's heads or anything like that. No. On an unrelated note, stay out of the basement.
To really, really, really allow himself to explore the possibility that the myth.
Do you know, Roger, when you have something that's actually worth exploring, something that has some real meat to it, and could convince someone, regardless of how unlikely it all seems, you really, really, really shouldn't need to fucking beg. Maybe think about that, he said, forgetting that the word think was in that sentence.
That we always thought were just mythology, just all nonsense.
Because it is, Roger. Mythologies are absolutely made up nonsense. That's why we call them myths. The things that really happen, to the best of our knowledge, are called history. We know that stuff happened because we have proof, like recordings of events and archaeological stuff, and the fact that magic wasn't involved. Myths tend to be literally the opposite of that.
How could any of this be true?
I know this one, and it's really rather simple and kind of brilliant if I do say so myself. This absolutely could all be true if you live in an upside down fantasy land without any rules for how things work and nothing made any sense whatsoever. Unfortunately, we live in the normal boring real world where things actually have to be demonstrable to be true rather than the things I want to be true. It's a damn shame. I really wanted that whiskey waterfall.
Creatures with 50 heads.
God damn it, Roger. Come on, man. Seriously, explain to me how that's even remotely reasonable. Because I don't know if you're anti-evolution or not. I mean, I assume at the very least you don't really get what all the fuss is about. But let's assume you get it enough and believe it enough. How the fuck would any creature having 50 heads, 50 bonces, how would that be an evolutionary advantage in any conceivable circumstance? Like, just the internals of such a beast send the mind spinning just thinking about it.
100 hands.
50 heads, 100 hands, what's next? 6,000 penises? Pfft, that doesn't even make sense. That's one more than I have, and I have the most penises. I'm starting to think that old Roger here might be talking that gibberish stuff that I've heard so much about, but never experienced every single fucking time I ever make a video. No.
Dragons.
God damn it, do you know how hard it is to not start referencing Skyrim? I mean, I literally did that in one of the first videos I did covering you. And I made that literally just so I could make this thumbnail. Man, this is becoming a bit of a retrospective on your bullshit, isn't it? I guess that was bound to happen when you basically made out that all myths are true, 'cause you believe all myths. Christ, no one show him a monster manual from Dungeons and Dragons, or we'll be here all week.
They were so tall that their head touched the sky.
Yeah, we have discussed this many times. Unfortunately for you, you have no concept of just how fucking enormous your dragons would be. They were continent spanning. They weren't so tall they would touch the sky. They would just be in space. And Christ, I can't even begin to imagine how much fucking oxygen something that huge would need. That it absolutely would not be getting unless it breathed through its goddamn feet. Although then again, it would probably have 30,000 of them or something, so maybe it all checks out.
I'm talking over 1,000 miles long. These things are true.
See, I told you, and the fact that he doesn't understand how that just does not work, when he constantly bangs on about biology and how smart he is about it, it's so telling just how little he understands biology. Like, he clearly has never considered why the largest animals on the planet, whales, aren't on the planet's surface, but more in it, if you count water, and I am, to be artsy, poetic motherfucker. Without water, whales, even if they didn't need it because sea creatures, they would crush themselves to death with their own weight. This is a thing that we know and can show, and you think that 1,000-mile-long fucking dragons exist? What are you, a frickin' moron? Yeah, I realised as soon as I said it.
And the things coming through space are biological, and he's correct. And he's the only one
The only one what? He's not going to be the only one who's going to believe this, because, he's not going to believe it at all, I reckon. And anyway, loads of idiots believe you. It's still staggering to me just how many people unironically think you are brilliant. Although I would be staggered to find out any of them even know how to touch their own noses without accidentally punching themselves in the genitals.
That I can find it will even, well, he hasn't responded to me. I've been trying to get a hold of him, but
Jesus, isn't that just a little bit sad? And the thing is, Roger, like the rest, he's more than likely going to ignore you because he doesn't believe anything that you believe, and almost certainly never will. Even the stuff that you think he believes just isn't the same. So I'm sure he will inevitably be added to the list of bad sciences who just don't get it, and you will continue thinking that you are right about everything without the basic ability to self-reflect on why all these people who apparently know what they're talking about find you to be a ridiculous pile of silly. But hey man, it's okay. And you know what? It's been kind of nice to have this face-to-face. And oh my god, that's it, he's got a face! That's what's wrong. Where did that even come from? And why aren't there 50 of them? Suspicious. And no small relief.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstar Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the